Is there ever such a thing as a good cage? Animal rights activists don't think so. So is the country's biggest egg producer, and we're talking millions here, as it introduces the new improved hen cage with more rooms, scratching pads and nesting areas. To the protesters outside, it is still a cage. It is still cruel, and regardless of the new code of welfare, something worth going to extreme lengths over. Here's Megan Martin.
Before sunrise, on a secluded country road north of Dunedin.
And I'll have a look at this while you do that.
This group of people is doing its best to, well, literally get in the road.
So we're going to be sitting 7 metres high in the air, and they're going to span across the road, so they're going to effectively block off the only access road into this facility.
That facility is New Zealand's largest egg producer, Mainland Poultry. Shortly after 8 o'clock, the first truck arrives, halted in its efforts to deliver hen feed.
The irony of this is if they don't let feed trucks in or supplies get in, they're going to create a welfare issue. Now, if that's what they want to do, I really don't understand where they're coming from.
We want to see a ban on all cages for hens. They've been trialling the new colony cages here. We've been in here, we've got footage in here. What we've seen is not good enough.
That footage, taken covertly in the middle of the night, shows hens in the new colony cages, also known as furnished or enriched cages. These are the focus of a 3-year trial and look set to be recommended for use instead of conventional battery cages. This is an example of a colony cage. It has perches, a nesting area and a scratch pad. It's more than 3.5 metres long, is higher than a conventional battery cage and houses up to 60 hens. Colony cages allow this much space per hen. That's 4 centimetres more than conventional cages.
And you've got 60 hens fighting over each other for these sort of token welfare things that they've introduced. So they may be bigger cages, but a cage is still a cage.
The protesters' footage was taken at night with camera flashes and spotlights.
We just filmed what was there. You know, we didn't alter the conditions, we just walked in, filmed what was there. I think it is a fair, accurate portrayal of what was there.
But this is another view. Mainland Poultry provided TVNZ with their own footage that shows the hens behaving very differently than in the protesters' footage. The company has invited us onto the farm, but not with our camera.
This was filmed over a long period of time. I think the other thing is that when you do something correctly, you don't frighten the birds or whatever, and our filming has shown the birds in their natural sort of day-to-day behaviour.
For some, the larger cages are at least an improvement.
It seems that the colony cages allow more behaviours to be expressed, more behaviours that we think chickens would probably like to express. So they're more able to have access to other chickens. They're more able to flap their wings, to perch, to nest a little bit.
As humans, we look at a cage and think it's awful. Do hens necessarily think that?
We like the idea of chickens being out in the fresh air, and we think that that's natural for chickens. We need to think, though, about welfare in a more scientific way if we can.
So let's look at some of that science. Under the Official Information Act, I requested this report, the evaluation of furnished colony cage systems, right here at Mainland Poultry. The results, some negative and some positive aspects.
Compared with battery cages, birds retained better feather cover, appeared calmer and had lower levels of stress hormone. Although free-range hens have a lot more freedom to express their natural behaviours, they also have a higher death rate because they're not in a controlled environment. Economics also comes into the argument.
It's as natural as you can get. You've got to remember this is farming for an affordable, sustainable supply of eggs, a healthy supply of eggs, to keep the bird healthy, to keep human health where it should be.
Although many New Zealanders claim to dislike caged hens, consumers vote with their wallet. Nearly 90% buy caged eggs.
They all come from the same chicken.
I just don't like the idea of buying caged eggs.
Free-range eggs are much tastier.
Basically, cheapest is best.
The protesters say it's not just about the price or science. They say cages are a moral crime and that all hens should be free-range, if farmed at all.
I don't eat eggs, I'm vegan. I've been vegan for 10 years and I'm perfectly healthy. So, I mean, there's plenty of cheap sources of protein out there. Things like chickpeas, you know, grains, tofu, things like that.
While the egg industry waits for a better cage system, the protesters hope for none at all.
OK, whether you go for the cheap eggs or the free-range eggs, one thing is right, is that we like to scoff a lot of them each year. We get through more than 1 billion. That's 230 eggs per person per year. And given, of course, that some people won't touch them, the average will be even higher.